All right, we got a 2012 Jeep Patriot in here. We're going to go ahead and put struts on it. I'm going to use the loaded struts. And what that means is the strut comes with the spring and the mounts. And it's all assembled. You don't need any special tools to change over the springs and the mounts. And the reason we're doing on this one has a bad mount on it on the passenger side. And it has almost 200,000, I think it's got 180,000 miles on it. Still got the original struts on it. And it's making quite a bit of noise on the passenger side because the strut mount is failing on it. And you know, they do sell the struts by themselves. It's just a strut, and you can reuse your old mount and springs. But if you have high mileage like this one does, I really don't see the point in that. And besides the fact, it's much easier to change them, and you're getting all new equipment on it rather than reusing the old parts. So in my opinion, just changing out a strut by itself is kind of a thing in the past. You're going to spend a little bit more money for the assembly, but you're getting all new parts, and the actual strut mount is a big wear item on these anyway, so it just seems like it makes sense to just change it all out at once. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get the car up in the air and get it ready. I'm going to do both sides. We'll just change one side today. It's going to be the same on both sides, so regardless of which side you're changing or whatever, it's all going to be the same. So I'll go ahead and get it up ready to go, and then we'll start on it, and I'll show you how to change them out. It's pretty simple. It's going to be easier if you have power tools, just because the bolts are pretty tight on the strut down by the knuckle. It just makes it easier. But if you don't, regular hand tools will work. There's really no special tools required if you're going to change out the whole unit as one, but it does help if you have power tools. So anyway, we'll get it up in the air and we'll get started on it. Alright, so we don't need a whole lot of tools for this. One thing I will point out, now I just put new stabilizer links on this car about a week ago, and because they were making quite a bit of noise. If yours are older, you're probably going to have trouble getting these off. A lot of times you have to cut them off. There is a hex bolt, or a hex in the middle where you can hold it and then take this loose. I shouldn't have to do that with this because I just put these on. But a lot of times, if it's been on here a long time, they'll rust on there. And then you have that whole issue of they'll just spin or break, and then you have to replace them. So, with that being said, that's the only thing I would say is you may have to replace your stabilizer links if they haven't been replaced recently. They're not too expensive, and anyway, not that hard to replace, but I'm just pointing it out because a lot of times they'll just spin and they won't come loose. Now this one should spin, unless it makes a liar of me. Yeah, so that one spun right off. Didn't have to hold in the middle or anything. And that's the advantage of just replacing these. So we have that, and then I'm going to go ahead and take off these two 13 millimeters that hold the lines to your strut. They hold your brake lines to your strut. Go ahead and take those off next. Those should be 13 millimeter. It's 14 millimeter for my stabilizer link, but I believe those are aftermarket bolts in there or not. I think the factory one's a different size. So we're just taking these two off the strut here to hold the brake line and the speed sensor, ABS sensor line to the strut. Those should be 13 millimeter. Alright, once those are out of the way, we're just going to kind of move those out of the way. And then we have these two bolts here that go through your steering knuckle to the strut. We're going to remove those real quick. And those should be 21 millimeter. And just going to zip these off with the air ratchet here, hopefully. Alright, if you have a real keen eye, you'll notice we're on the passenger side now. The reason why that happened is because my battery actually went dead on my camera. I didn't realize that it was that low. So I went ahead and finished up the driver's side, and I'm on the passenger side. I'm just picking up where we left off. So after you get those two nuts out on your steering knuckle, you'll just tap those two bolts out, and then you'll be done underneath. And then you're going to come up here to your strut tower, and you just had 3 bolts to hold this into the body. So go ahead and take those out. And you may want to hold it when you get the last bolt so it doesn't crash into your axle or anything. And then it should come out. So we're just going to take out 2 and 3, and then, like I said, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of screw this one back in a little bit, and that'll kind of hold the strut from crashing into the axle. And alright, so I'll just go from underneath, grab that strut, and loosen that nut. It's only on there a few turns, and then we'll just be able to go ahead and get this axle off from under there. Alright, I went ahead and slid the new strut back up in there, and I got them just barely tight. I'm going to go ahead and torque them down now. On these, you don't want to go too crazy torquing them down. You can break off a stud off the strut mount. So you want to have them tight, but not don't go ballistic on them. And I was going the wrong way. Let me find that nut and then I'll pick it back up. Alright, so I found that nut. We're just going to tighten them now. Like I said, you can break these studs off if you go too crazy on them. I'm sure they got an official torque spec, but you just want them snug. So that's about as far as we'll go with that, and then we'll go back underneath and finish putting it back on. Alright, I went ahead and got everything started real quick just because I don't know how long my battery's going to last. I do have a jack underneath this lower control arm here. I don't know if you can see it. It's under there. It helps to keep stress off the axle, and it also helps to line this back up. So I went ahead and lined everything back up just because, like I said, I'm not sure how long my battery's going to last on the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and zip everything back on, and then we'll kind of close out. You can see it's a pretty simple job, pretty straightforward. Definitely helps to have the hand tools, or the power tools. And it also helps to buy the loaded strut, so you're not compressing that spring and going through all that. So right now, the first thing I always do when I put them back in, tighten the top, and then we'll line this knuckle back up, put these 2 bolts in. I have the jack under there to jack it up and to help me hold it while I put the bolts in. It's already lined up, I already got them started, so we're just going to tighten them down. And of course it's turning a little bit, so you might have to either hold it or get the T started in the strut. Alright, this one's being ignorant. Go get the wrench real quick. Alright, usually you can just kind of beat those in a little bit and they'll hold themselves, but this one's not doing it, so just get a 21mm open in and hold it. Alright, we're going to put this stabilizer link tight again. Should be good, and then all we got left is the 2 13mm for the brake hoses. Just line those back up, torque them down. And again, I'm going the wrong way. Probably see the bottom one first. That's the one that holds everything. Once you get it lined up into the strut, should hold it. Alright, that's pretty much it. Put the wheel back on, take it for a test drive. So you can see here, it's pretty simple. Not really any special tools if you do it this way with a loaded strut. And that's pretty much it for a 2012 Patriot with front struts with the loaded strut. Only thing I would add, which I already said, is you may have to replace your stabilizer links. It's pretty common on those if they're older. If you're going to do the stabilizer links on these, do the straight sway bar bushings too. because it seems like on these Chryslers especially, the sway bar bushings go bad, and you can kind of look under there, they'll be puffed out, and it's easy to change those out when you got this off, because you leave these off, change those out, that way you can move the bar around and then put these on last. So that's, and they're like $7 or $8 for a set of those bushings that go to the sway bar. Not too hard to get to on these Patriots. It's worth changing them. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Hopefully it helps somebody save some money if they can do their own struts at home. It's pretty basic. If you're familiar with hand tools and do brakes and stuff like that, there's no reason why you can't do something like this. Like I said, the biggest thing is going to be that stabilizer link, maybe jamming you up a little bit. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you down the road. And as always, God bless.